which makes a little bit of a change, doesn't it, Florence? David Beckham's debut match with Paris Saint Germain.
That's right, and French papers are very excited about it, especially L'Équipe, which is the sports daily, says that Paris met l'OM à genoux, so Paris brings Marseille to its knees. And you see a photo there of David Beckham hugging the other big man of the match, of course, Zlatan. So that same photo is on the front page of Aujourd'hui en France today, that same photo taken last night. And Aujourd'hui en France points out that Beckham was the 400th player to wear the Paris Saint Germain's jersey yesterday. And they say that Beckham is already at home on the pitch. Inside, Aujourd'hui en France says that Beckham sent a chill through the Parc des Princes, which is the stadium here in Paris. But it wasn't because of the cold. It was, of course, because of his wonderful soccer skills.
Excellent stuff. All right, let's hope he continues to do well for Paris Saint Germain. Other serious stuff in the newspapers today here in France as well. A lot of French papers paying tribute to a French war photographer who died this weekend. He was wounded in Syria, wasn't he?
Absolutely. His name was Olivier Voisin, 38 years old. So he died in Turkey after being wounded in Syria. And there's a very glowing article in Libération today that comes back over his career, points out that he took incredible risks to tell people's story. And there's a quote that, something he said once. He said, "There's no other drug as powerful as the adrenaline that suddenly provokes incredible sensations, especially the will to live." There's also another interesting article in the Huffington Post, which also pays tribute to Olivier Voisin. They call him an adorable and touching person. And they published one of the last emails he sent to a friend of his just the day before he was wounded. And it highlights the everyday life of a freelance journalist. For instance, at one point he says, "I've been here for 3 days and like an idiot, I forgot a book." But it also points out a lot more of the serious sides of what he was doing. Talks about how he had to sneak into Syria, how dangerous his job was. All this for photos he wasn't even sure he was going to sell. He describes the horrible things he was saying around him. And the article, the email is really interesting because you can tell that he feels very implicated and genuinely moved by the tragedy around him.
Sad loss there, Olivier Voisin. Now, austerity is back in the papers as well over here in France. This is measures being put in place by François Hollande's socialist government.
That's right. It's on the front page of Les Échos, the business daily today, that says there will be more taxes in 2014. Le Figaro, the right-leaning newspaper, also focuses on a measure that the government is exploring on how to save money, and that would be to scrap tax breaks that parents of university students younger than 25 years old get. So it's a very French thing. The government wants to replace that tax break with a benefit that would vary according to people's income. In their editorial, Le Figaro points out that here we go again. Instead of cutting government spending, here you have the government that's targeting the middle class. When it comes to taxes, Le Figaro says that the government's creativity is inversely proportional to its capacity to save money. So snap from Le Figaro today. And it points out that France is the only country that's so gung-ho on increasing taxes instead of cutting spending, so it's very isolated.
Yeah, you pulled out something a little bit different. This is from Le Croix, the Christian paper, exploring France's retirement homes.
That's right. Le Croix wonders today how far should security go in these retirement homes. And it comes after, in the past month, 4 elderly people have been found dead after they wandered away from their retirement communities. For instance, several of them wandered out during the night and were actually froze to death outside. So the minister in charge of elderly affairs, Michel Delaunay, she gives an interview to La Croix, and she points out that it's time for a debate on how to find the right balance between, on the one hand, keeping old people safe, protecting them, and on the other hand, respecting their right to come and go from retirement homes. And she says that their freedom should always come first.
On Oscars Day today, of course, SLATE has taken a closer look at the red carpet.
That's right. The red carpet, according to SLATE, is like a microscope. It's a great way of taking a closer look at all the actors off the silver screen. And one thing that SLATE says can be surprising sometimes is how tall actors are. And I don't know if you saw Dustin Hoffman and Charlize Theron a little while ago. There's a significant difference in their height there. Well, SLATE has a kind of calculator that lets you figure out, well, how tall you would, what actor you would be according to your height.
Right.
So if I were an actress, I didn't pay anybody, I'm not making this up, I would be Angelina Jolie.
Oh!
Hey.
Very good.
And guess who you would be, Stuart?
Danny DeVito?
No, at 6'1", is that right? 6'1".
At 6'1", that's
you
what I
would
am,
be Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that's okay.
That's all right.
I don't mind that.
I just hope you don't have his acting skills. But
Ooh, be careful, be careful. I was just looking at that picture. That looks a bit like our producer this morning, actually. But anyway, Florence, thank you very much. Florence VILLEMINOT here with the newspapers here on France 24. Now I know why she was asking how tall I was a little earlier on. Good stuff. Latest news headlines. Argo wins Best Picture at this year's